You ready?
Yep.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. Hey, hi, how you doing? I'm your host, Kennedy Vidal, and this is The Art Of.
What's up? I'm your guest, Michael Myers, and this is The Art of Lemon Roll Baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lemon Roll Baby, what's up, dude?
What's happening?
You are my first episode of this series, or this, I guess, season. So how you feel to be the first guest?
I feel honored. I feel like ever since we made that first connection from the showcase, I knew this was going to be a long-lasting like connection, and that like I throw ideas, you throw ideas, and here we are. Here we are.
And you know what's so crazy about it? I think we met. Was it the day before like our first practice? Yeah, on FaceTime.
Yeah. You called me.
I was like, okay. Like I don't know how your work. I guess God just works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
But like, cause I saw your work, I was looking for people and I saw one of your videos and I'm like, oh, let me DM him real quick. Like,
yeah.
And like, I guess that day we got on FaceTime, we talked about the whole thing. The next day, like, we got into action. So that was really, just cool to watch that whole thing, like, unfold.
Yeah.
But your name is Lemon Roll Baby.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who don't know you, explain like what that means, what that is, how you came up with the name, all of that.
So Lemon Road is a street in Zachary, Louisiana. And, I grew up there my entire life. And the lore behind it, without going into extreme detail, is my grandmother and my grandfather. They purchased the land on Lemon Road, and I'm not the firstborn, but I was the first child that was brought to Lemon Road when I was born. So, and it was crazy. Me and my brother got in a recent debate about like, oh, who's the actual Lemon Road Baby? But I gave it to him. But I feel like I'm the originator.
No, you definitely. I haven't met your brother or anything, but just the way you carry the name, it got to be you.
I feel like I carry that mantle like proudly. Like because I'm so big on family.
Right.
And Lemon Road just kind of stuck with me, and I just, I'm the baby of it. So that's, Lemon Road Baby.
I love that. I love how you incorporate like family into your brand. Like family is a big thing for me, like really, really big. And I love that, it's big for you as well. So getting into your artistry, like where did that start? How did you find a love for, music and all that stuff?
Man, I recall, telling this story to so many people, but I growing up, I couldn't listen to rap music, and would I say that my family was like really like heavy religious? Not really, but it was just like, oh, don't be listening to that, devil music, blah, blah, blah. And, coming from Baton Rouge, at the time, as far as I can remember, maybe like middle school, I started listening. The first rap song that I listened to was Big Papa by Biggie Smalls. And I fell in love with rap then. It was just something about the boom bap and the New York style that I gravitated to more than the normal Baton Rouge sound.
Right.
And from there, I fell in love with it. I found other like-minded individuals that had that same creative drive, still listening to that New York sound, and I feel like I bettered myself so much since then. This was like maybe 7th grade,
right?
6th, 7th grade, that I'm listening to like beats on YouTube and just writing my own songs. There's a very, very unreleased poor quality song of mine on SoundCloud out there. That was my first ever rap that I recorded and posted like off screen.
No,
I'm gonna have to play it.
You gotta send it. No, you have to send it.
But it's the love of it is what just kind of kept me going since then.
The process of that, like I want to hear 7th grade Lemon Roll. I want to hear what it sounds like.
Ooh, ooh, okay. I'm proud of it. That's all I'm saying. I'm proud of
You
it.
should be. And
Yeah.
I mean, like, even looking back at stuff like that, like, it's going to show the growth that you made and
It definitely
like
does.
how you evolved as not only a creator, but also like a person.
Yeah.
Your skill set, just like even the things you spoke about, like the things you spoke about in seventh grade probably isn't the same things, or if
Same
it
thing,
is, it's
yeah.
like, more developed. So yeah, you just, getting to see the process of like, lemon roll. So when you were creating, it was really just a hobby. Did you ever think like you would go anywhere with it?
As a kid, yes.
As a kid, yes, to the hobby, or you wanted to like
No,
pursue?
okay. As a kid, I had the dream of like, man, I want to make it big. I want to blow this thing. I feel like I still have that childlike mindset right now. It's like, the more I'm consistent and the more that I push myself, I can see it definitely going in that direction. But what really made me fall in love more with it is how much it became a hobby. I didn't look at it like, oh, this is a get rich scheme, buy my mama a house, type of thing. This is like, man, I really love just putting words together. I love how music sounds in a headphone, and I love the smiles and the appreciation that I get from people close to me that sees that, I actually have a talent and I'm putting it, towards something.
Right.
So the love of it is what keeps me going and keeps wanting to do it every single day. I don't care if I have 100 views or 1,000,000 views, honestly, 100 people or 1,000,000 people, that's how I've always treated it. And I've, to this day, I haven't made $1 off of any of my music, and I'm okay with that, because the people that reaches out to me, they come from a very relatable place of like, man, I still listen to your old music to this day, and I can't wait to see what's next. And that's what I do it for, the love of it.
Yeah, I love that. There's a lot of people who, they'll be talented in something and they'll take that talent and really just focus on like the money aspect of it, And I mean, obviously everybody want to make money, which is a realistic thing. Like you need money to like live and,
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think it's really something special when you can get in a room and create, and it's not for the love of money, it's for the love of the craft,
of
like
simply doing it.
And I think about that. Like I was at a space last year where I was creating for the art of, and I was frustrated because it wasn't where I wanted to be, like in terms of engagement, in terms of viewership, in terms of finances, and it kind of like it didn't make me like hate the art of, but it just made me super frustrated, and I had to realize like, this is something you still love doing. It's not where you want it to be, but like this is something you love doing. This is something you're growing in, and you're still at the like beginning stages. So kind of just trying to find my footing with like, figuring out it's okay to not be at that place,
right?
Because this is something you love and you're doing. Like the reason behind you doing this is way bigger than money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's what I was gonna add to like writer's block is a thing, and moments like that, I just kind of always go back to, the thought of why am I doing it? What does that first love feeling feel like? And then it just kind of almost like, that frustration kind of goes away and you just create.
Yeah. Okay. So you talk about writer's block. What do you think writer's block is caused by?
Distraction.
Okay.
Distraction. Well, speaking for myself, I know like life can kind of move faster than what I may like it sometimes. And when I have a goal, any goal, and this is even, outside of music, like if there's a goal and I try to stick to it, I feel like the easiest thing, or the first thing that comes first with, setting goals is like the distractions and things that can kind of keep you away from, reaching those goals and stuff. And that's all kind of writer's block is. But on the flip side, 9 times out of 10, what I'm either trying to escape from at that point in time, or what I'm allowing to distract me, I use it in my music, believe it or not. Like I write about it, you know, and that's all my writing is. Like, I'm just not pulling random experiences from nowhere. I'm the most honest in my music, you know, and I can't help it because once I learned that writing out your thoughts and your feelings are a very strong coping skill. I used it since then, and it's still coping to this day. You know, so that makes me like, it reassures me with each song that I write that it's like, you know, that I'm in a good mental headspace, a good emotional headspace. So when that writer's block comes, it's just like, okay, what am I thinking about? What am I being distracted on to just kind of resurface and regroup?
Ooh, that's good. I like that. Writing things out and like typing them out or whatever it is, getting it out, even if you're speaking it out, like it really is like a form of healing in itself. It is. Like, in a sense, because it allows you to like, one, process what's going on in your life, process your emotions, your thoughts, and figure out, you know, why is it this way? You know, what is like the root problem of that? Get into the root, and then, you know, understanding, okay, this is how I move past it, or this is how I move forward. But yeah, I like that. So I want to talk about your flow. Like, how'd you come up with, like, you know, because I don't know what song it was, but like the flow was like, oh my gosh, I love this. Like, how'd you come up with that flow?
I feel like each song kind of have its own character, you know, and its own flavor, you know, if that makes sense.
Right.
And it really depends on like how I'm feeling. Like if I'm in kind of like I don't want to say sad, but just kind of like, you know, in a negative headspace, you know, the flow isn't going to come off as spicy. You know, it's going to kind of be like, you know, mellow and kind of like nonchalant. And that kind of translates to the relatability, you know, because how can, you know, a person, you know, relate to a song if they may be talking about something that's sad, but they're like yelling. You know, you would want to kind of come to a person's level.
Right.
And that's kind of all I do. I listen to my own music like I'm a listener, you know, of Lemon Road Baby, you know. So I kind of use that as the blueprint of how I'm going to project or how I even write a song. You know, I'm ultimately writing it for myself, but also as a listener of, you know, just the enjoyment of like, man, this guy's hard, you know, or like, or I feel this beat or this chord, you know, kind of, you know, struck me you know, in the right places and stuff. So I feel like the flow just kind of comes, you know, naturally with, you know, whatever headspace that I'm in, you know. And I love being, you know, creative with the flow and, you know, listening to, you know, other artists that I, you know, idolize and look up to and listen to on the daily. I just kind of pick up little like, you know, word plays and just kind of like similes and stuff that I kind of like, I kind of like how he did that. And, you know, I replicate it and make it into like my own way, you know.
Gotcha.
Because I've heard more times than anything that, you know, I sound authentic. I sound like, you know, who I am and not like, you know, oh, you sound like a Kendrick or Cole or just somebody who's not down here. You know, I get it all the time. But that the flow is everything. That's what keeps people's attention and just kind of, you know, there, you know, in the song, and just you're there, you're stepping into my world with how I choose to project and invite you in. You know? Right. So it's a beautiful process.
Yeah, it really is. I love, like, I've never really sat down on like, you know, someone making a song, but just from what I've seen, like whether it's movies or interviews of people like sitting down, I think it's a cool process from like,
it is,
the production, the beats, the melodies, like the ad-libs, like every single, you know, part that goes into making a song is just real cool to me. And I got to get into that a little bit more.
It's a beautiful process. It's the same way how, you know, you do your podcast and everything that you do on your computers and stuff. It's the same method. It's the same, you know, like concentration where I know for me, if I'll hear a beat maybe like 15 to 30 seconds in, I already kind of put myself in that world, and I'm just like, okay, I already know what I'm gonna talk about. I know, whatever ad libs I'm gonna do, or, how I'm gonna project or something.
Nice.
And once that 15-30 seconds of the beat, I kind of hear it, the melody stuck in my head, I wouldn't play the beat until I'm ready to record.
Okay.
Sometimes, like I'll have it looped in my head, and that's what kind of makes it exciting to go into post and record. It's like I took all this time out to write the lyrics, and some days I'll be at work, and a lot of times I wrote most of my songs at work, at work, and I'm just like in the middle of doing something and type it, do work, type it, and then I'll have a full song by the time that I get home, and I'll instantly go and record, because I record myself. So it's like, that's a luxury too, to just have an idea and actually execute that idea.
Right.
But it's all the same. It's all the same concentration with just, wanting to create something that's up here, putting it out there is a beautiful process.
Yeah. So, okay. So you start with the lyrics first, or like when you come up with a song, like, is it like just, you sit down and jot the lyrics, or you say you like have lyrics throughout the day? Like, do you put those together to make one song? Like, how the beat, like what?
It's beat first.
Okay.
Beat first.
So
like
you make
I said,
the beat?
Not all the time.
Okay. Okay.
I'll come across a beat that I like.
Okay.
And, out of respect of the producer, either like, buying the beat or just asking them like, hey, can I use it for this? And sometimes you run across the beat and they're like free or something like that, so you can just use it. But it doesn't take seconds to just hear the beat, and the beat, like I said, it literally loops in my head, and all the lyrics that I would write would be for that song.
Oh, okay. Got you. Okay. Cool.
And that's a good practice when, like how we was talking about writer's block. I got told a long time ago, it's like, to kind of rebuttal writer's block is like, just write a line a day. If nothing's clicking up here where you writing lyrics for a full song, and it's just kind of like you'll stop and pause. It's like, just write something a day, that kind of keep that, creative juice going.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good tips for artists out there.
Of course.
You're a pretty positive person. Have you always been like this positive, or you think this is something you've grown into?
I feel this is something that I'm still learning.
Really?
To just be, your most authentic self. And that's something that I've recently had to learn. I say recently, but this is still kind of like years in the making.
Right.
Nobody has it all figured out at our ages now, or even when you're older. And you'll run into people that have this persona about them that you can kind of like read and just see that they might be going through a lot. So that's why you just kind of always treat people the way that you would want to be treated, because it's community is such a big thing, because you'll never know when somebody needs to be there for you.
Right. And
I'm so big on community just as much as I am family. So I just kind of treat them the same way, because I know I don't have the best days, and somebody around me may not have the best day. And all I try to do is be something positive in the midst of, whatever a person could be going through, and just give them that reassurance that, hey, look, I don't know what you're going through, but I'm here for you, And sometimes that just kind of comes off with my attitude and how I carry myself. A person, would, people in the past, I recall, would just be like, man, you have a nice smile or something like that. And they'll just, they'll gravitate to that positive energy, and, it makes my day knowing that I had some type of impact on theirs.
Yeah.
So I try to be positive as much as I can, and just keep going no matter what, Yeah.
So I guess, when you talking about your music in general, what's the message you want people to get from it? like, I'm not talking about one particular song, but like when they listen to Lemon Road Baby, like what is one thing you want them to get from your work?
That I'm a human being and that we're all human beings. And meaning that it's like, you know, we're not perfect.
Right.
You know, I'm not coming on the track saying like, oh, this is how you get money. You know, this is how you get the love of your life, or, you know, this is, you know, whatever the case is. Like, I'm human. These are my mistakes. These are my flaws. This is what I do when I wake up in the morning. This is how much I love my kids. These are my kids, you know. And like I've said, you know, that's the energy that I would get in return when I would, you know, put music out and be consistent. It's just like, man, bro, it's just something about your music that, you know, keeps me coming back. You know, it's you know, the older people that I would let listen to my music, they will say that I have so much wisdom, you know, or just so much, you know, awareness of just, you know, who I am. And that's all I would want, you know, people to kind of, you know, relate to is like, you know, you can be yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you can be the person that you feel like you don't want to put on the surface, that you feel like you might be misunderstood, or that, you know, that you're alone, you know. And I feel like that's really what my message is like, we're all human, you know. And once we kind of remove that mask of trying to be something or somebody that we're not, then it's like you see the beauty in just being human, you know, and just being yourself.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
I think the greatest thing about art is that like it can be perceived in so many different ways, and like no matter where you're at, what you're going through, how old you are, your demographics, like it doesn't matter. It can relate to you in some way, and that is like, it's beautiful because like you may ask like one person for interpretation of your song, and they'll give you one thing, and then you can ask another person and they'll give you something totally different. Yeah. And then I could go back to you and ask you what it meant. It could be something completely different for both of those. So it's just like very kind of universal in a way.
It is, yeah.
You know, and it brings like art brings, whether it's music, any form of art just brings, you know, people together. And I think that's like really cool. And
also the beauty in it is when it's misunderstood sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, like you could perform in front of people and they may not, you know, understand, you know, what direction, you know, your art is coming from, but that connection was still made. You know, some people, they may have the curiosity of just like, you know, oh, I may not like this or I may not understand this, but let me take it a step further and figure out, you know, it's still a connection there, you know. And of course there's the ones that get it and that appreciate all kinds of art forms. They're going to instantly have gratitude of like, man, this is a beautiful, you know, piece of art, whether it's, you know, performance or, you know, painting or anything. So that's just basically having an open mind, you know, giving every piece of art a chance, because a person is really putting themselves on whatever canvas, stage, camera, whatever, for that to not be appreciated is, you know, I honestly feel like, you know, it has no choice but to be appreciated. That's what art is, you know?
And, you know, everybody's not going to appreciate it, but there's going to be a group of people that do, and you just got to rock with them. Also, it's crazy you say that. Like, when I was younger and I, like, loved the artist, or they had, like, whether it's an artist or a famous person, if I really liked them, I would watch interviews to like further understand.
Me too.
Oh, why'd they say this in this song? Or why'd they do this in this movie? Or what does this mean? And then we're like watching those interviews, which is crazy because like this is kind of what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it helps you understand them as a person more. It helps you understand their art more. And, you know, it's just entertaining to me.
Yeah, because you could listen to your favorite artist every day, but know nothing about it. You know, like if I love an artist, I'm figuring out their birthday,
everything,
their zodiac,
who's their mama, like, who their daddy, like every single like. And I used to go. I'm watching not just one interview. I'm watching this one, all of them. And this interview, they talked about one thing. This one talked about another, and it's like, like, you know, I watched, I don't know. It's just like a cool process. I feel like I'm getting to know them personally.
And you can put yourself in their shoes. Like for me, example, I'm an artist. So like, artist interviews that I listened to when they were, amateurs all the way to when, they're, doing, concerts in front of millions of people and interviews and stuff, red carpet or whatever it is. It's like you can put yourself in their shoes of just like where you started. And I'm not going to sit here and deny the accolades and the goals and accomplishments that I reached being 27, starting music maybe like 12-13 years ago, probably longer than that, where it's just like, man, I really went from, talent shows to performing for, other creators and other venues and having my own equipment and different things. Like those I earned my stripes,
for sure.
to be the artist that I am. I may not be on the big grand scale, but it's still so momentous for me. Good. I'm proud of it.
You should be. That's really good. I mean, it's good to be like, look at your work and feel some level of appreciation for, what you do as yourself. Like it feels good when people appreciate it, but when you could really look at something that you put out and appreciate it for yourself, it can make you cry.
I did that shit. I did
literally.
I did
literally, like you just, and sometimes like even with the showcase, like just like rewatching like the videos, and I'm like, wow, like that
you did that.
Thank you.
You did that.
And I just love like how everything came together with that, because I didn't know how it was gonna turn out. I was so scared.
Because that was your first one.
Yeah.
Your first one.
Very first, and I was just like, like things didn't start coming together really until a week or two before. And I'm not that type of person. I like to plan and have everything in all my ducks in a row. But it worked out how it was supposed to.
It did.
And I, like we were able to build like a community of people, creators that, just so super supporting and just value community as well.
Yeah.
I got one more question.
Okay.
The last thing is, it's just like a recap of the video. What is the art of Lemon Road Baby?
The art of Lemon Road Baby. It's a journey. It's a journey. Well, I want to say maybe it's like a video game, if you want to say.
Okay.
In video games, you have all this life, and you get knocked down, you get hit, you might get shot at, or whatever game it is, and maybe in that game you die, but you always come back, and I feel like that's the resolve that life kind of showed me, that no matter how many times I get knocked down, I'm supposed to keep going. There's a goal at the end of this. There's a sword and a rock at the end of this, and like just having to take a step back or taking that knee or being knocked down is just a representation of dying in a game, where it's like, you can start over, or you can start back where you were, or even in games where, there's multiple people, there's people around you that are going to help you along this journey, but don't give up until it's over,
right.
And I feel like that's what Lemon Road Baby, as me as an individual, means. And I never got asked that question before. Just like what I am, what I represent, So I just feel like, just got to keep going, got to make it happen.
Got to.
That's what the art of Lemon Road Baby is. That's a mantra that myself, my family, and my peers around me, live by. So I keep people like that around me, that community, and I give 100% every single day.
Love that. I love that so much. It was great having you on the show.
Thank you.
Is there's anything you want to shout out? Let them know.
Shout out to my kids.
Yeah.
I'm a dad.
Of 4 kids at
4
that.
kids. Hey.
I love the kitties.
New music and visuals coming very, very, very soon. Stay tuned to that. You're going to see a lot of me, a lot of lemons.
If you see lemon, anytime you see a lemon, think of this guy. Like now, I literally, anytime I see a lemon, I'm like, dang, lemon roll. Every single time. You know, that's like part of branding. I tell you all the time, like I love branding so much.
Yeah.
And that is like so key.
Yep.
But yeah, y'all, check him out. I think, what platforms are you on your music?
All platforms. With my music, you can look up Lemon Road Baby, lemon like the fruit, road like the street, and baby, B-A-B-Y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instagram, Lemon Roll Baby.
Everything.
What's the other Instagram? Lemon Roll, what is it? You don't want to get on?
Not yet. We're still working on that one.
For sure. Just follow him on Instagram, Lemon Roll Baby. Follow his music. I promise you, he got some good stuff. And stay tuned for any of the music that he's coming out with next.
Big.
This has been The Art of Lemon Roll Baby. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at theartof.pod or theartof.br. Follow both. And yeah, we'll catch y'all next week on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Also, stay tuned for the visual coming out this weekend. Yep. Yeah.